Hello, my name is Bonnie and welcome to a Feel Good Vinyasa flow. This practice is designed to strengthen and lengthen the body and invoke some movement. Hopefully you'll be feeling really good after. All you need is your mat, so I'll see you there. Okay, so we're going to come to a seated position, so either on your shins or come down into an easy seated, whatever feels comfortable for you. Taking the palms onto the knees, rolling back the shoulders, just taking a couple of deep breaths here. You might like to close down the eyes and give yourself a moment to truly arrive, letting go of all that preceded your arrival to the mat. Every inhale, feeling as though you're expanding through the chest, the ribs, the intercostals, the lower abdominals. And then exhale it out, letting go. Start to scan the body, noticing any areas of tension. And direct your breath here, becoming aware. Couple more deep breaths here. Inhale, expand. And exhale out the mouth, let it go. On your next inhale, bring the hands out to come up overhead. Join the palms. And then exhale, lower down through the midline. Inhale, bringing up again. Reaching up nice and high, join the palms down through the midline to the heart center. Exhale, let it go. One more time here. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, let it go. Now we're going to just take a couple of shoulder shrugs here, opening up one way and then the other. And then when you're ready, coming to a tabletop position. So the knees are under the hips and the wrists are under the shoulders, setting yourself up here for a cat-cow. So on an inhale, we're lifting the tailbone, opening up, leading with the heart, looking up. And exhale, round through, find space in the back. Look through to the navel. Inhale, lift the tailbone, looking up, opening up the heart. Exhale, round through, looking back, moving at your own pace, following your breath. Every inhale, we're looking up. Exhale, we're contracting, looking back. Continue at your own pace, warming up the back, inviting some movement. Again, scanning the body. Any areas of tension where the movement just isn't quite so smooth. One more here. Exhale, round through. And then when you're ready, come back to a neutral spine. A long line from the tailbone to the crown of the head. And then we're going to pick up that right foot off the mat and see if you can draw the heel up to the sky, creating a nice long line from the crown of the head to the heel. Drawing in the navel, the ribs, nothing else moves apart from this leg. Exhale, release back down to our tabletop. I'm going to take it on the other side. So first picking up the knee, picking up the foot, drawing the heel up to the sky, creating a long line. Pushing right back behind you. Exhale, coming down. We're going to bring the hands into this as well, if you like, or you can stay where you were. Right foot lifts up along with the left hand. So now we've got a long line between the heel of the right foot and the fingertips of the left hand. On the next exhale, we're going to draw the elbow and knees to touch. And then inhale, come back out nice and long. And then one more time, exhale. Draw the elbow to the knee and inhale, nice and long here. Drawing the ribs and the navel in, and then exhale, release. We're going to take it on the other side. So picking that left foot up behind you, pushing the heel away, picking up the right hand off the mat, reaching long with the fingertips, draw the navel in, and then exhale. We're going to go elbow to knee. Inhale, reach long. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, reach long. And then exhale, release down to the mat, pushing back to a child's pose, using your hands to help you, forehead to the mat. On your next inhale, coming back up onto the knees, curling the toes, and then lifting the tailbone up to the sky, coming to a first downward facing dog. So take your time here. Maybe you'd like to pedal out the dog, invite some movement in the body. And start to think about your foundation. So your fingertips are pointing forward, gripping the mat with your fingers, really rooting down with the index finger knuckles. And then think about drawing the heels down towards the mat, firming the forearms in, spreading the shoulder blades wide, drawing the ribs and the navel in, drawing the outer hips up and back, inner thighs, slight internal rotation. And find your breath again here. And then inhale, look forward, and then just take baby steps all the way to the top of the mat and come to a forward fold. You might like to hang out here, swaying from side to side, maybe hold opposite elbows, and drawing the crown of the head towards the mat, finding space. Swaying from side to side, and then releasing the fingertips down to the mat. Inhale, half lift, look forward. Exhale, release. All the way back down. Inhale, root to rise, bringing your hands out to the side as they come up overhead, joining the palms in the center, coming all the way down to our heart center. I invite you to set an intention for your practice. It might be to simply honor the body, get some movement, maybe to draw upon feelings of gratitude and love. Maybe honor yourself or someone around you and dedicate your practice to that. We're going to begin with some sun salutations to invite some movement in the body and warm up. So firstly, coming to our Tadasana, our mountain pose, lifting the toes, grounding down through all four corners of the feet, lifting the kneecaps, engaging the quadriceps, pulling the outer hips back and in, engaging the ribs, drawing the navel in, pressing the palms in front of you, create some energy through the body. Shoulders soften away from the ears, broaden through the collarbones, and draw up through the crown of the head. Taking a deep breath in here, inhale, exhale, letting go. On your next inhale, lifting the hands out to come up overhead, joining the palms. Exhale, melt all the way forward to our forward fold. Inhale, half lift, looking forward. Exhale, plant the hands, coming back to plank. Shoulders over wrists. Make sure the balls of your feet are directly under the heels. And then we're going to come all the way forward onto our toes. Option here to come down to the knees. And then we're going to lower through chaturanga. So bending the elbows until the shoulders are in line with the elbows. Stop here. We've got an option to melt all the way down to the floor. Untuck the toes, press through the tops of the feet, and then push up into our up dog or cobra. Just going gentle, it's the first one for the day, just waking up. And then melting down, taking the palms out nice and wide onto the fingertips. We're going to push into the fingertips here as we come up, opening the heart, looking forward. Inhale. Exhale, melting back down. Inhale, we're going to come up looking over the right shoulder. Exhale, melting back down. Inhale, come up looking over the left. Exhale, come back down. And we're going to come back to our cobra variation here. So the wrists come under the elbows. Think about pointing the toes back, pressing the tops of the feet into the mat, drawing in the inner thighs, drawing in the ribs, the navel, looking forward, and then pressing into the hands as you come up, opening the collarbones wide, bringing the shoulder tips back, and exhale, we'll melt back down. Curling the toes, and then sending the tailbone all the way up for downward facing dog. Again, take a walk here, clarify your foundation. Inhale, exhale, letting go. And then we're going to take baby steps all the way forward to the front of the mat. And we're going to begin to move with the breath. So just taking your time. If you find you get a bit lost, that's okay as well. Inhale, looking up, half lift. Exhale, release. And then inhale, coming all the way up. Palms together, and then come down through the midline. And reset into Tadasana. So we're going to do that again, moving with the breath. Inhale, lift, root to rise, hands come up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, looking forward. Exhale, plant the hands to the mat, stepping back to plank. Your version of chaturanga here, coming forward onto the toes, lowering down through chaturanga, bending the elbows, pressing into the tops of the feet, pressing into the hands as we open up, look up. Exhale, coming back to downward facing dog. Inhale, looking forward. Exhale, make your way to the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, looking up. Exhale, release all the way down, and then inhale, root to rise, coming all the way up. Hands meet and coming back to heart center on the exhale. Moving with the breath. Inhale, hands come out to come up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step back to plank, your version of chaturanga. Lowering down. Inhale, pushing up through the hands, pushing up through the tops of the feet, opening the collarbones. Exhale, downward facing dog. Taking a breath here. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, looking forward. Exhale, make your way to the top of the mat. Forward fold. Inhale, looking forward, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise, hands come out to come up, connecting the palms. Exhale, down the midline, Tadasana. Inhale, lifting the palms up, connect, melt all the way forward on an exhale. Inhale, half lift, looking up. Exhale, come back to plank, lower down through chaturanga. Inhale, pressing up through the hands, opening up. Exhale, tailbone to the sky, coming to a downward facing dog. Inhale, looking forward. Exhale, making your way to the top of the mat. Forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, coming all the way up. Exhale, release. Take a moment to reset into Tadasana. Inhale, exhale, draw the ribs and the navel to the spine. Inhale, lifting the hands out to come up, connecting the palms. Exhale, melt, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, looking up. Exhale, plant the hands to the mat, coming back to a plank, lowering down for your version of chaturanga. Inhale, pushing through the hands, opening up through the collarbones, looking up. Exhale, coming to a downward facing dog. And from here, clarifying your foundation. Heels draw down towards the mat. On the next inhale, picking up the right foot, toes to the sky, taking a bend with the knee, and then drawing the knee all the way forwards towards the chin. Inhale, lifting up to the sky. Doing that again. Exhale, taking a bend in the knee, drawing towards the chin. Inhale, up to the sky. Bend the knee, come all the way forward. This time, step the foot between the hands, lowering down that back heel, flattening the top of the foot, coming to our low lunge. Making sure that the shin is in a straight line from the top of the ankle to the knee. Taking a look back, making sure the back leg is aligned with the hip. Inhale, rising up with the torso. Keep a shoulder width between the arms. And then feel like you're really drawing that outer hip up and in of the front leg. Exhale, cactus the arms, open up the heart, looking up, maybe taking a little baby back bend here. Inhale, coming back up. Exhale, releasing the hands down, pointing towards the back of the mat. Curl under the toes, and then we're going to push up to a crescent lunge. So lifting up with the hands, lifting the back knee off the ground, a long straight leg here. Exhale, releasing the hands again, coming down to the back edge of the mat. And then we're going to come up onto our right foot. So leaning forward, inhale, picking the left knee up to the sky. Exhale, coming back to a baby dancer. Inhale, coming up. And then we're going to hold on to that outer edge of the foot and see if we can place that on the inner thigh, coming to our tree pose. Hands coming up. Finding a drishti point, a point of focus. Maybe you'd like to bring your hands down to heart center. Drawing the ribs and the navel in. Coming back to your breath. And then using the left hand to help the knee face forward. And then picking the hands up. And exhale, we're going to come back to our crescent lunge again. Framing the foot with the hands, coming back to a plank, going through our flow chaturanga, lowering down on an exhale. Inhale, looking up. Exhale, downward facing dog. I'm going to take that on the other side. Clarify your foundation in downward facing dog, and then picking up the left foot on an inhale. Exhale, taking a bend in the knee, bringing towards the chin. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, bend the knee, draw in towards your chin. Inhale, lifting up. And then this time on the exhale, we're going to step the foot all the way through to between the hands, lowering that back knee onto the mat and coming through to our low lunge. Pressing into the top of the back foot, making sure that your knee is aligned over the ankle and pressing through that front heel to come all the way up. Inhale. Exhale, cactus the arms, open the heart. Inhale, reaching up nice and high. Exhale, hands point to the back edge of the mat, and then we're going to curl the toe under, picking up that back knee to crescent lunge. Inhale, hands lift. Exhale, hands point to the back edge of the mat. Bringing the weight into the front foot. Inhale, knee comes up, hands lift. Exhale, take a baby dancer or your version. Inhale, hands and knee lift. And then using the right hand, help the foot onto the inside of the thigh, coming to tree. Drawing the ribs and the navel in. You feel like connecting the palms, bringing down to the heart space. Finding your balance. And then using the right hand to bring the knee in towards the center, lifting up, bring the knee up, and exhale, coming back down to a crescent lunge, framing the foot, and then sending that foot back, coming to plank, going through your vinyasa flow, lowering down through chaturanga, pushing through the hands, coming up, upward facing dog, exhale, downward facing dog, clarifying your foundation, draw the heels towards the mat. Inhale, looking forward. Exhale, step, hop, or jump all the way to the front of the mat. And release into forward fold. Every inhale, finding space between the vertebra of your back, and every exhale, the crown of the head draws down closer to the mat. Inhale, half lift, look up. Exhale, melt down, forward fold. And then inhale, root to rise, bringing the hands all the way up, connecting the palms, and exhale, down through the midline. Inhale, lift up with the hands and the left knee. Exhale, stepping back to a crescent lunge. Taking a pivot on that back foot, we're going to come to our warrior one, lifting the hands. You might like to point the index finger to the sky and think about your alignment. So isometrically drawing the front foot to the back of the mat, drawing the outer hip back and in, and firmly pressing down into the outer edge of the back foot, drawing the inner thigh back and bringing that outer hip of the back leg forward. Inhale, rise up through the torso, creating space. And exhale, draw the ribs and the navel in. Coming up to a warrior three, bringing the weight into the front of the body, and then picking up that back foot, dorsiflexing the feet, internal rotation of the thigh. Hold it here for a breath. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale and exhale, taking a micro bend as we step back to a warrior one. And then straightening the front leg, we're going to melt down for a pyramid pose. So you might like to place a block underneath the hands, or maybe the hands on the shin or the thigh, and drawing the crown of the head towards the front foot. Inhale, find length. Exhale, melt forward. Taking a micro bend at the knee. Inhale, pushing back up to a warrior one. Exhale, pivoting on that foot, framing the feet with the hands. Stepping back through plank, through your vinyasa, lowering down through chaturanga. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, come to the top of the mat. Forward fold. Inhale, half lift, looking forward. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise, hands come out to come up. Exhale, down through the midline. Inhale, lifting the hands and the right knee up. Exhale, coming back to a crescent lunge. Pivoting on that back foot, coming to our warrior one on the other side. So isometrically drawing the front foot back to the back of the mat. Hips draw into the midline. On the back foot, pressing into the outer edge of that foot. Internal rotation of the thigh, and then lifting the torso up on an inhale. Pointing the index finger to the sky. Inhale, lengthen, find space, lift the scapulars. Exhale, draw in the ribs and the navel. Nice and strong in our warrior one. Preparing for our warrior three, bringing the body weight forward, coming up onto that front foot, lifting the back heel to the sky, dorsiflexing the foot, maintaining the inner rotation of the inner thigh. Hold it here for a breath. Inhale, exhale. Slight bend in the front knees. We come back to our warrior one. Nice and strong here. Straighten the front leg and melt down for a pyramid pose. Drawing the outer hip of the front leg back and in, and the hip on the right foot forward. Crown of the head towards the front foot. Inhale, find length. Exhale, release. Taking a little micro bend in the knees, we come back up to our warrior one. And then we're going to pivot back on that foot. Frame the foot with the hands, stepping back to a plank, going through our vinyasa, lowering down through chaturanga on an exhale. Inhale, looking up, opening the collarbone. Exhale, sending the tailbone back up, pressing into the heels, finding a downward facing dog, taking time to establish your foundation. Inhale, right leg rises. Exhale, step the foot between the hands. Pivoting down, this time we're coming to a warrior two. Windmill the hands up. Lengthen up through the torso, hands at shoulder height. Coming to a reverse warrior here, taking the front arm back. Inhale, lift back up to warrior two, and then coming to our extended side angle. So really pressing down into that elbow, and at the same time think about pressing up from the legs to the elbow. Inhale, coming back up to a warrior two. Exhale, we're going to take that side angle again. And this time we've got the option to bind. So taking that top hand out and around behind you, maybe resting on the thigh. And then also the option, if you want to go a little further, taking that hand behind you and finding a bind. Really think about maintaining space between the torso and the quad. Opening up through the collarbones. Deep breath here. Inhale to come back up to a warrior two. Exhale, windmill the hands, coming all the way back over and stepping back to a downward facing dog. Walking it out, noticing how you feel on opposite sides. And then re-establishing your foundation here in downward dog. Inhale, lifting the left leg up to the sky. Exhale, coming through, stepping the foot between the hands, coming to warrior two on the other side. Windmill the hands back up, finding space between the hips. Arms are at shoulder height. Finding a reverse warrior, bringing the hand up. Inhale, coming back to warrior two. Extended side angle, elbow to knee, lifting up and over. Inhale, rise back up to warrior two. We're going to do that again. Side angle with the option to take a bind here. So you might like to just place the top hand down on the top of the thigh, or you can bring that other hand through and take a full bind. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, coming back up to a warrior two, and then windmilling the arms, coming all the way down, finding your plank, flowing through your vinyasa. And we'll meet in downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lifts. Take a bend with the knee and then bring the foot all the way to the left shoulder, as far as you can go. And then coming onto the edge of the left foot, we're going to find our wild thing if that's in your practice. So lifting up with the hips, opening up with the heart. Take a breath here. Exhale, release. Coming back all the way through and then finding our fallen triangle. So keeping the knee into the chest and then out through on the outer edge of the foot, lifting the hand up. And then inhale, coming back to our downward facing dog. Finding your breath. On your next inhale, lifting the left foot up to the sky, taking a bend, bringing the foot towards the shoulder, and then coming onto the outside of the right foot, finding wild thing. Inhale, pushing through the hips, opening up. Exhale, release. Coming back through plank, knee to chest, coming all the way forward. Outer edge of that foot on the mat, fallen triangle. Find your breath, inhale, exhale. Bring the knee in towards the chest, finding downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, find your way to the top of the mat. Forward fold. Inhale, half lift, looking forward. Exhale, release. Inhale, coming all the way up, root to rise. Hands connect. And drawing the hands all the way down to the heart space. Inhale, hands come back up, connect the palms, and then we're going to float all the way down to a forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step back to plank, lowering down through your version of chaturanga. Inhale, looking up. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, looking forward. Exhale, step, jump or hop to the front of the mat. Forward fold. Inhale, half lift, look up. Exhale, release. Inhale all the way up, root to rise. Exhale back to Tadasana. Taking a moment to reconnect to the intention you set at the start of your practice. Finding your breath. Finding the present moment. In the stillness. And from here, releasing the hands, coming to chair pose, so sinking back the heels, bending the knees. Coming all the way down to the hands, touch the mat, and then inhale, lifting up to a chair pose. Hands to heart, finding a twist, elbow onto the outside of the knee. Inhale, lifting back up. Exhale, taking to the opposite side. Inhale, lifting back up. Inhale, rise through the side body. Exhale, draw the ribs and navel in. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, looking forward, flat back. Exhale, stepping back to plank, finding your vinyasa. Lowering down through chaturanga, coming up. Upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. From here, coming down onto the knees, we're going to take a child's pose. So it's up to you, any version of child's pose. I'm going to go with wide leg and pushing back through the hands, sinking the hips onto the heels, finding length through the lower body. Inhale, exhale, let it go. And lifting up, pushing the hands, bringing yourself all the way up to seated position. We're going to come over, bring the legs out in front of us. And then take a hamstring stretch. So flexing the feet, lifting up high with the hands. Inhale, finding space, and exhale, melting forward. Inhale, think about drawing the crown of the head towards the toes. Really leading with the heart. Exhale, melt. One more breath here. And inhale, coming back up to seated and release. Finding your way down onto your back. Bringing the knees to the chest. Maybe taking a rock from side to side. And planting the heels down onto the mat. We're going to find bridge. So make sure that the feet are hip distance apart and draw the ribs and the navel into the spine. And then we're going to push through the heels to lift the hips up. And then finding a long line between the knees and the shoulders. And from here you can rock from side to side on the shoulders and clasp the hands underneath you. Really think about pushing in through the heels, lifting the hips, making sure your knees don't splay out to the side. Deep breath here. And then release the hands. Inhale, exhale, roll the spine back down to the mat. So you can take bridge pose again, or you can come in for a wheel pose. So it's the same with the feet. We're going to push through the heels, drawing the ribs and the navel in as we lift the hips up to the sky. And then we're going to bring the hands to beside the ears, and then the fingertips are pointing down towards the bottom edge of the mat. And your fingertips can splay out a little bit if that helps. Elbows are up to the sky. Taking an inhale and exhale, we're going to start to push through the hands, lifting up onto the crown of the head and then all the way up. Pushing through, opening up through the hips, opening up through the front body. Maintaining your breath here, maintaining your focus. Keeping the knees in line with the hips and the feet. And then when you're ready to come down, draw the chin towards the chest and gently lower down. And then bringing the knees in towards the chest. And from here, you can take a happy baby pose, holding onto the outside edges of the feet, drawing the tailbone down along the mat. Maybe you'd like to take a plow pose. So lifting the feet up behind you, pushing through with the hands and holding onto the hips. And again here you can take that clasp behind you if that feels good. And from here I invite you to take any pose that you feel would round out your practice today and serve you. So you might like to take some twists, inside and the other. You might like to take a shoulder stand or some variation. Maybe you'd like to take Supta Baddha Konasana, so the feet joined, the knees splaying out, relaxing in a hip opener. I just invite you to find any pose that feels comfortable before we make our way into Shavasana. Knowing yourself and what you need at this time. When you're ready, finding your Shavasana, just allowing your legs to be long, your feet to be heavy and splay out. Relaxing the feet, relaxing the knees, releasing any tension in the hips. Releasing through the shoulders, the elbows, the arms. relaxing the face, softening the eyebrows, unclenching the jaw. And I encourage you to stay here for as long as you like. You can pause the video. Otherwise, I'll bring you back in a couple of minutes to finish the practice. Coming back to the physical body, evoking some movement, maybe wiggling the fingers and the toes. Inhale, lifting the arms up overhead, taking a full body stretch. And exhale, letting it all go. And drawing the knees in towards the chest. Taking a little rock from side to side. And whenever you're ready, we're just going to take it down onto one side. Just finding a comfortable position. Coming back to the breath. Coming back to your intention. And inhale, push through the hands, helping yourself come all the way up. Back to an easy seated position. Hands back on the knees. Noticing how you feel, becoming aware of all areas of your body and how you feel. And think about how this compares to how you felt at the start of your practice. And taking a moment here to soak up all the positive energy you created in your practice. Enjoy the feeling good. Finding your breath. Inhale. Exhale, let it go. Thank yourself for practicing, for showing up to your mat. Knowing that when we serve ourselves, we're able to then better serve others. Inhale, bringing the hands out to come up, connecting the palms. Exhale, coming all the way down to the midline. Taking one last moment of sweetness. I thank you for joining me on the mat today. Namaste.